But anyways, we're live. Good morning, everybody. Look who's here. We got Thew and T here. The guys are in. What's going on, you two?
Oh, man. I'm just trying to stay warm.
You're not used to it.
Man, I had to stop by Walgreens and get me some Mucinex.
Oh, you're sick too?
No, I'm getting there. You know, I can feel it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you. Getting ahead of it.
He'll probably be in there at Best of Big Red too, probably getting himself a Husker parka or something.
No kidding. Well, I do make a stop there every day. I got to after here. We got to stop there and stop by Lead Bellies. I haven't been to Lead Bellies yet. So
yeah, that's a staple.
Yeah.
And luckily, they're right next door.
Yeah. I go to Lead Bellies and
we ate there for my birthday dinner.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, and I feel guilty because once I found out that he was already in town, and Bill was going to be gone. It's like, oh, well, we could get T on here, and of course T doesn't say no to anything.
No.
The nicest guy in the world. He's gonna, he does this stuff, and I'm glad. But you would never know that he played here because I think he's gotten spoiled with that Arizona weather once he moved down there.
Oh yeah,
which is easy to do. Don't get me wrong.
Oh God, I'd kill for it right now.
Well, because I went down there. What was it, about a month or two ago? About a month and a half down there for softball, and I didn't want to come home.
Yeah,
it was 65 down there.
Sounds beautiful.
They thought it was cold for them down there.
That was cold.
65 that day. It was chilly.
It was 45 the other day here, and it was awesome.
We got up to 61.
Yeah,
a couple days before Christmas, didn't it?
Yeah,
that was great.
Good morning, Ernesto. He said hello to the legend and Thew. What up, Shane? Ryan at 40's in. Sarah's in. We got a lot to catch up on, guys. Some football. Of course, we got Legends Weekend coming up in a few days.
Oh yeah.
Why T is here. I love it, man.
Trying to stay warm.
Yeah. I need to get gloves. There's Mom. What's up, Mom? We will have Marco today, by the way. Oh, you left me a card at Tav? All right, I'll make sure to grab that. I was there Tuesday night, but let's say I don't remember the last hour.
You bring your phone? Hey, Will.
Yo.
Send a link to Johnny.
Johnny, what's your... I'm going to need his email.
etchinjohn@gmail.com.
All right, hold on. I got to start the show real quick.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Do the hustle. Do the hustle.
Good morning. Welcome into the Morning Hookup on KFOR. Happy Thursday and happy 2025. Yes, new year. We are here, 2025.
Oh, no show yesterday, was there?
No, we were not here yesterday, so we hope everybody had a good New Year's Day. If you had the day off, hope it was productive. And here we are in 2025. Bill Hooks is gone to start the year. He is in Utah, and he's on a ski trip. He's going skiing for the first time ever, him and his family. That's where he's at right now.
He's never skied before?
No, he said this was his first time. And I didn't tell him, but I have very little confidence in him doing well at skiing.
Tell him to do the green slopes, not the double black diamond ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
he's going to come back with 3 broken ankles.
T, why don't you text me Johnny's email?
Yes, he's texting to me right now.
That's where Bill is at. And we got a few special guests in. We got Thew back in with Husker Army. And we got former Husker Henry T in today as well. Johnny's hanging out over there off camera. We'll make sure to get him on here soon. But gentlemen, 2025, how was the New Year's Eve? How was it?
It was great. Mr. Shoecraft had a New Year's Eve party. And,
oh, really?
Yes. So we had a pretty good time and had a little mini Olympics out there. We ended up, he has a pinball machine, a dartboard, a putting green, and a golf simulator, and also pool table. And what we did is we pulled names for for partners, and we kind of made up these rules, and we just did a round robin. Then, and my team, I teamed up with who did I team up with? Golly, was it Jill? Yeah, I teamed up with Jill Drensman, and we ended up winning the pool part of it. And then Johnny team, I think they cheated, but I'm not going to go there. And but they end up winning darts and pinball.
Wow.
And we all tied on the putting green.
Well, you tell Shu, thank you for the invite.
I sure
and
will.
he'll never come on the show ever again. So good to hear you had a good time. Theo, what about you? What were you up to?
What, do you want 3 guesses?
I'm gonna guess you were working.
I was.
Yeah.
I have now officially become old. I think I was in bed New Year's Eve by 9 because I had to work early next day.
Good for you.
And you get to work and you hear these people all droopy eyed and stuff talking about the fireworks going off in Lincoln.
Yeah. And
I'm not going to say that my room downstairs has quite the padding that this room does, but that's where I go for quiet time. And when I'm going to have to work early, and I didn't hear a single firework, although I did hear fireworks the 28th in my neighborhood. You'd be so proud of me because the neighbors just were shooting off fireworks nonstop after Nebraska won their bowl game, right?
Yeah.
And Thew, get off my lawn. Thew a couple of years ago would have been out there barking at him, saying, "Hey, listen here, it's a 7-6 team."
Yeah.
But I realized that I live in a neighborhood with a lot of younger people.
Yeah.
And that they weren't around during the 90s. So this is kind of their first chance to celebrate the football team doing good. So I was happy for him, and I didn't yell with a clenched fist or anything.
Okay, well, I'm glad you guys had a good weekend. We'll get Johnny on the stream here in a sec. Johnny, how was your New Year's Eve, New Year's Day?
It was relaxing, kind of watching football.
Good.
About it.
We'll get to those football games here in a little bit.
Oh, God, don't get me started.
Finally, we had some decent games in the college football playoff. Of course, one got moved to this afternoon. We'll talk about that, too. T, let's talk about why you're in town, though. Big weekend, Legends weekend.
Yes.
And we got a pretty good UCLA team coming to town.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the Legends weekend, see some of my old teammates, Jeff Reckaway, Bo Reed, and Bill Jackman and a few of us, Bernard Day, and we always the team that always have the most participation and always the attendees. So I love that, and it's gonna be a big game. UCLA, I've seen them play several times. Living out in Arizona, UCLA comes on TV quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a good matchup. They got size, and that's where Burke came from.
Burke, yeah.
Burke came from there, and so it's gonna be a really good game. I think the fans will really be entertained, and I think they're ranked 15th now, right?
Yeah, they're ranked.
They're ranked 15th, and they got size and they can shoot it, but they come into the PBA. It's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be a little different vibe for them, and I think the fans will be ready, and I think Coach Hoiberg will have his players ready.
Well, and there's something about Legends Weekend. How many in a row have we won on Legends Weekend?
Since the Iowa game, I think we've won every one of them, right?
Well,
I remember there was one we lost
all the time.
We lost to Northwest when Miles was still here. We lost to Northwestern, and that was Ty Webster's senior year.
Yeah, and we lost to Iowa around that time too.
Was that Legends too?
Yeah, it was Legends. We just
recently no,
we're
not losing on Legends weekend.
No.
But see, I wanted to ask you a little bit about this weekend. It's a great time for a lot of the former players to come back. I know I enjoy watching it, get to catch up with you guys and stuff. And you see the players as they're introduced, all from different eras of when they played here. And of course, I remember when you played here and everyone else from then on. When your time here and you look back and you get introduced there at Legends Weekend, and there's some pride.
Oh, yeah.
When you walk out there. And although the building is different, you're walking out in front of, some of the same crowd that cheered you on when you played. And, I'm not biased. There's a little bit of a louder cheer, I think, when you get introduced because
Shu will say it's him, though.
Well, it's not.
Well, they say shoe, so it sounds
like they're booing. For the time that when you were here at the program, what is the one thing that you look back on and can say, yeah, that was me and my teammates. That was the footprint that we left our legacy on this program? What are a few of the things that you look back and say, yeah, our team did that? Was it the Kansas games, or what are some of the things?
It's the whole atmosphere. Playing at the Bond Vanny, we had the opportunity to play with the student section right up on us, and we played in a different environment. Of course, the Devaney is not the size as PBA, but it's it's a lot larger than this Coliseum was, of course, and where I heard that they were right on top of the players, and which would have been fantastic. But some of my memories is just the Devaney and the fan support, the noise, the crowd, and just playing in front of the Cornhusker fans, and it's just, people don't realize, and I talk about this all the time, and you notice this in Phoenix and everywhere you go, that we got a fan base that's different than any fan base in the country. And they're very knowledgeable about the game, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, you name it. They know their sports, and they support us, win, lose, or draw. And a lot of universities can't say that.
Mm-hmm.
If Alabama's down, they're not getting fans in the stadium. If the Buckeyes are down, they're not getting fans in the stadium. Cornhuskers, no matter what, we're selling it out, and they love their teams. And when you're winning on top of that, the pride in the big games. We won some big games in the Devaney.
Okay.
We beat KU. When the year they won the national championship, we beat them 2 years in a row that year. My 2 years here at home, and beating Mizzou. Storming Norm, and I know there was a strenuous relationship between Coach Nee and Storming Norm, and to beat them in the Devaney is a feeling that I can't describe. So.
Yeah, you always talked about K-State too, playing against them.
Yeah, it's
I love those stories.
Yeah, Mitch Richmond and
Norris Coleman.
Oh, I talk about Norris Coleman. I thought he was.
Well, you and I are on the same page.
Yeah,
like that guy was so underrated.
Yes, I thought he was better than Mitch Richmond that year, our junior year. This guy was 6'8", and he was a man. He was former military.
Yeah, military guy came back. He was a little older,
just like I did. Yes.
Well, the place is going to be packed on Saturday, T. I believe it's already sold out. We'll try and get Johnny on the stream here during the break. But I heard it's sold out already, this game, T.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be awesome.
Yes, it is. And I got folks asking me if I can get tickets, and I think I don't stretch myself. I work with the ticket office, and I got quite a few requests, and I'm like, I'm up to. I think I got 11 approved, and I don't know if I can get it.
He's got a waiting list.
Well, I think they put a lot of you guys where the students sit, right?
Yes,
they're not
this game.
They're not at this game.
Yeah. So we are going to be right there at midcourt and a lot closer to the game. And
is Coach Nee coming back again this year?
No, he's not going to make it.
No?
I think he's coaching, and I think Coach Nee. I think he thoroughly enjoyed himself last year.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun when we had Coach Nee coming back. We got Johnny and just a blank screen right there. We'll get it figured out. Let's actually do this. Let's take a break. Okay, we're going to get Marco D'Angelo on the show because we're actually going to have him on. He's going to be giving you some games. He's got the college game today, and he's got some NFL games for this weekend. So we'll get Marco D'Angelo on the show when we come back.
More next on the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Is that working okay?
Okay.
There he
There
is.
you go.
I
Okay,
had
and
it.
get the volume down. Then turn your volume down.
Right
All the way
here.
down. Is it all the way down?
There, yeah, that sounds good.
Is it down now?
I think check. It's a little echoey.
Try it now. It's minimal feedback.
It's minimal.
I don't know if
Yeah, and I know we'll never be able to get it down all the way. That's just how this-
one more pair of random headphones.
I don't know if his phone takes that type of audio jack.
You got to set it up where you.
Do you know if it does? Can you see?
A jack for headphones somewhere.
I've never used headphones with it.
No, like one of the it does like just a round port like that.
Yeah, I don't think I have one.
Huh.
Well, take this off. Yeah, something.
You know, I get all the hand-me-down phones.
Check 1 2.
Apple hand me down.
Wait,
Yeah.
I don't hear an echo. Do you? Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can't get the volume down. Though. You can't.
I
mute it?
have it all the way down.
No,
Wait a
I mean
minute,
that's
go
the
to
thing
volume.
about.
Wait a minute. Go to volume. Go to where's your settings?
It's right here.
Okay, go to volumes. Go to.
Is it
Ernesto goes,
right here?
what can't T do?
Yeah, well, on mine too, I have to pick between seeing the pictures or the comments because I don't think I can pull them both up on my phone at the same time.
Right. Yeah, I was hoping that computer was here. That would have helped.
I have a tablet at home. Can I bring that? With
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Next
Okay.
time you come and bring
Okay.
that in.
Okay.
Yeah, that might be better.
There. No.
Check 1 2.
Yeah,
Test.
no.
All right, we're going to Sizzler.
Check 1 2.
Oh, no.
Check. Oh yeah, that sounds okay. I think.
All right. I don't know how Hooksy thinks this chair is comfortable. His arms are like this. I feel like that guy on Return of the Jedi, and it's a trap.
You know, when I watch the show, I always think he's standing.
Will, we're going to make it through this, I swear. You can put your cell phone on speaker and hold it up to your microphone.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm having trouble getting Marco, so just sit tight. Marco, can you hear me? Sorry about that, guys. That was weird. Our phone lines are not working, so
We could faintly hear him, though.
we could hear him. He couldn't hear us. Sit tight for me. Welcome back into the morning hookup. Happy Thursday. Sorry about that. Had a long break because I could not get a hold of Marco D'Angelo, so we're going to have to move on from him. That's unfortunate because we had some good games for him to pick. Not sure what's going on with the phone lines today. New year, 2025. Is this Y2K? Is this what everybody was afraid of in 99?
Y2K25?
I wasn't alive for that. I hear all about it, and it sounds like
the panic was real. Don't kid yourself. All because everybody's checkbooks had a 19 on the front two numerals of them, apparently.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, I really feel bad because Marco is going to come on and we're going to have a good show. But it's already a good show because we got T here, we got Thew here, we got Johnny is here as well. Johnny, where are you from?
I'm from Tilden, Nebraska.
Tilden, where's that at?
It's about 20 miles west of Norfolk.
Okay, got it. All right.
It's up there. Will, were we going to talk to Marco about the, I guess we would say, delayed Sugar Bowl?
Delayed Sugar Bowl. Yes, he was going to pick that game, and since we don't have him, do you have the pick in front of you?
I do have the picks in front of us.
What was he going to say?
Well, I don't know what he's getting. What I don't have his answers on here.
I think I put it whatever the spread was next to the team. That's what he's going with.
Well, we had Georgia plus 105 versus Notre Dame
plus 1.5. So that means he's taking Georgia tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we had some pro games on there too.
Yeah, we did.
I don't know, to be honest with you. Notre Dame looked pretty good there against Indiana.
I grew up watching Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame fan as well.
You're a quiet Notre Dame fan?
Yes, yes.
Well,
yes.
you know, and I posted something about this on Facebook too, and I don't know. I know you live down there. I don't know how involved you get, but you know, Xavier is second favorite team is Arizona State, and if anybody got a chance to watch them, they had that game against Texas, who I would say probably is one of the most complete teams in the country. Boy, from a team that was supposed to be picked 12th in their own conference to getting a bye, and then we've seen what these other teams who've gotten the byes have done, you know, maybe laid an egg, whether Boise State or SMU. So we're all thinking, well, same thing's going to happen to Arizona State, right? That Scatabo, is that
Scatabo?
Oh,
that's got to be name of the year.
And well, not only name of the year, but you have a guy who's throwing up on the sideline in the fourth quarter, who then just comes out and he's rushing for touchdowns, throwing for touchdowns, trying to will his team to win. I think at the very minimum, Arizona State showed that they belonged in that game.
Let me go to the phone real quick.
Okay.
Who's ever on the phone, can you hear us?
Yeah, testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, well, we could hear you. For some reason, Marco couldn't hear us talking. So we got Ernesto, though. What's up, man?
Is he picking games?
No, I'm not picking any games. Trust me.
What's up, Ernesto?
I listen to the show, especially today. You know, Marco's awesome. I won a lot of money with him over the last year and a half. So
I'm really sad we can't get him on.
Yeah, I feel for it. T, it's great to see you again. Thanks again for meeting me in Jacksonville.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel that DDT may get busy with some ski injury. I can just see Will at the bedside before they take Phil back, giving a play-by-play before surgery. Hey, and Will, what's the opposite of spicy?
Dull. I don't know.
Mild?
Frosty. Come on now. It's frosty down here, especially in Orlando, but it's really, really cold. Hey, and I got a Jack Daniels wrap for T, and I'm going to give it my best shot. I'm not the best, but it goes, well, T, the legend went up to Lincoln for Legends Week. He was looking for a pass to steal. He's never behind because he's never in a bind because he's never behind, and he was willing to make a State Farm deal. When he came across a young man stalling on the dribble and playing it hot, and the legend jumped up on a hickory stump and said, hey, current Nebraska players, boys, let me tell you what.
That's awesome.
Ernesto, what a guy.
Awesome.
We got Joe P on the stream. We got a few others catching up with us. Anthony
Joe P's out in Bahamas.
Oh wow.
He's listening to us out in Bahamas. I hear you, Joe Feet.
It's good to hear
Great.
from him. No, we were talking about that Arizona Texas game. It looked like it was going to be just another playoff game that we've been seeing, but they hung in there, forced a 2 OT. That was a great game.
Oh yeah, took the lead.
Mm-hmm.
Had Texas down to, I think, after a false start, to 3rd and 14.
Yeah.
And just gave up that pass over the top.
But let's back up a little bit.
Mhm.
Okay, no, I'll back up.
Let's talk about the no call,
Which one?
Which one?
the targeting.
Oh, that
yeah.
was
Did
a
I
big deal.
Wow.
did I miss something?
That was a big
was
deal.
that they were talking about that on ESPN this morning?
Yeah.
Was that not targeting to the law?
I think it looked like targeting to the average person. Yeah.
Is that SEC bias?
SECPN?
Well, no, because I'm pretty sure those were Big Ten refs, were they not? I'm pretty sure they had a Big Ten officiating crew for that.
They
Texas
may
game.
have.
I think those are Big Ten refs.
I mean, how far down the conspiracy rabbit hole do you want to go? That we can't be having Arizona State move on. Anyway, no, that was the definition. It was because I mean it was helmet on helmet, and it was to the fact that the Arizona State coach wouldn't leave the field for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He was pretty adamant about it, and for good reason.
Yes. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean, the guy was defenseless, number one. And even though the ball was tipped in the rule book, he was still defenseless, and it was head to head. It was helmet to helmet.
And he was down for 5 minutes too. I mean, he's injured, maybe concussed. Is that a word?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Well, Texas moves on. They're going to be playing Ohio State, which should be a fantastic game. We'll get to that Ohio State game in a second. Let's just keep going down the timeline because around halftime of that Texas game, we got the news that they were going to be pushing back the Sugar Bowl. Obviously, we know what happened in New Orleans the night of New Year's Eve, which is insanely sad and insane. And we hope they figure that situation out. What were your guys' reactions to that?
Devastating. That's all you can really say about that. It's it's one of those things that somebody's that deranged to run a truck into a crowd. And what's the death toll up to? I know it was 15 at one point.
Last time I looked, it was 15.
Also, somebody threw out 25. I thought I heard on the news, but sometimes you hear different numbers. But regardless, and then the amount of trauma that folks are dealing with now that survived it, and it's just unreal. And it'd be interesting to see how both teams react and respond to that. Because I know the Notre Dame coach this morning said that they mourned a little bit the first meeting, and it's just that's lives that was taken away.
Right. And it is a college football playoff. But I think it brings a perspective back that even as big as these events are, that there are things that are well more important than that. And the fact that I think they moved it back so they could make sure that this game, when it did get rescheduled as for today, where everyone who will still be there is going to be safe. You saw them going through the area just to make sure that, because this was a pretty active situation where they were finding the types of detonations that were similar to the Boston Marathon type thing. And they don't want anyone from either fan base or anything that will be attending this game to be put in harm's way. And I think most of the folks that would be in attendance, hopefully they have, forgiving employers that'll let them stay down there on that trip a day longer. And hopefully some of these hotels will be a little accommodating as far as letting them have the rooms another day. And it's one of those deals where, the sporting events take the back seat to real life. And, we saw that a lot during 9/11. Nebraska had their game versus Rice moved to like a Tuesday, I believe it was.
But didn't Yankees play? Did they?
Maybe. I think they were pretty quickly after that. Yeah. But I was watching that Louisiana governor that they've been having on the press conference. He seems like a guy who's on Swamp People on History Channel. I mean, it's insane. Alligator. That's what he says. Anyways, that game got moved to 3:00 today. All right, so we'll be having some college football today. Let's get to that other game, Ohio State, Oregon. Boy, Ohio State.
Brian Day keeps the
Brian Day,
the coach for Ohio State. Is that his name? Ryan Day.
Ryan.
I had
no
B.
B.
Sorry, no B. Sorry.
Thanks, Johnny.
It keeps. Yeah, that's why I brought him in here. He's that guy that in there. Hey, tell us what we missed and got wrong on the today, John. but because all the alum and everyone that was after him, and wow, what a defining win for that program, especially a game that had already transpired early in the year where Ohio State had lost by 1 point. But Ohio State fans are weird. There's part of me that thinks they could still go on and win this national title, and there's that fan base that still has that crooked eye that they've lost 5 or 6 consecutive games to Michigan. It's a total different fan base than what you would see anywhere else. That beating Michigan, I think, takes a priority over winning a national title. You could be 13-1 every year with 5 national titles, but if that one loss is a Michigan, well, we need to start looking for a different coach.
But you could even say losing to Michigan might have helped this team.
It could have. But let me tell you something. Being here from Nebraska, don't be so quick to be getting rid of head coaches because it's really hard to find the next guy. I can tell you that since about 2005-ish.
Well, Kirk Herbstreit, was he going at it with Shannon Sharp and Stephen A?
Oh, he was?
Oh, last week it was a big. They were.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yes, I think he came into defense of the coach, and because they were really calling for his head, but after that Michigan loss, they kind of went in on him,
right?
And so it's it's win or lose, and but you're right though, we got rid of coaches
pretty quick,
starting with Frank, and then of course Bo Pelini, and
I mean, look, I think after the games we've seen, and we'll get to that Penn State game as well, I think Ohio State's looking the best out of all these teams. Texas is a close second. They may be the best team.
Right.
Ohio State looked really dang good.
I think that would be a great matchup. And I think the winner of this game was probably going to be the national title. I mean, we can look ahead to that other side. Penn State is going to take on the winner of this Georgia-Notre Dame game. I don't know, Penn State.
Notre Dame's playing well.
They are, and Penn State as
good.
well, but maybe Penn State's had 2 easy games. Well, maybe.
Of course, I think the only reason Georgia is an underdog is because they're without their quarterback. I mean, who knows if this guy's any good? He could be good, and if that's the case, they could win the title. They got a good overall team. Don't forget about that.
And if
Georgia,
if you are a Nebraska fan, there should be a little part of you that roots for Penn State. And the reason being, I say this because I kind of like Penn State doing well and James Franklin having some job security.
So you don't want James Franklin to get fired?
I do not, because I think that is the only job in the world that Matt Rule would leave Nebraska for.
Oof.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard that. I've heard that.
That's my take.
He's already won 2 playoff games, so that should be enough, you think?
I hope so.
And a lot of people think that they're good enough to make it to the championship as well.
Are they good enough to beat either Texas or Ohio State?
Yeah, well, we'll find out.
Well, I mean, I don't. Before you move on, in a nutshell, you've heard some complaining with these bye teams that being weak and the automatic qualifiers in this 12-team system. I think it's been entertaining.
It's been good.
I've enjoyed it.
I think as a team, you maybe don't want that bye. Just because it feels like when you're sitting around doing nothing and these guys are playing, that's a big advantage. It seems like
it's 6-1 or half the other. Yes, they might be playing and getting the reps, but also when you've got teams like Clemson and Texas and those guys that are just beating up on each other, do they come into that next game a little dinged up where you stayed healthy? So I mean, it could be either way.
Let's ask Johnny. Johnny played college football. Sitting out or continue playing? What do you think?
Well, for instance, look at yesterday, Arizona State. They started out real slow because they've been off for a couple weeks. I think it can work both ways. If you got an injured team, sitting out's probably good. If not, I mean, there's nothing like game reps. So
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, so all 3 teams who had the bye lost, right? And it could be 4. Georgia loses tonight. Who do you like in that game tonight? Or today, I should say.
Notre Dame.
You like Notre Dame?
Yeah.
You like Notre Dame, Johnny?
Yep.
I think Notre Dame wins this.
Yeah, it's hard to take Georgia without their quarterback.
Right.
Nobody really trusts them right now.
Someone told me that quarterback may be better.
He could be. I mean, he's at Georgia for a reason. That's why, to me, this is hard because I don't want to take a lot of stock out of a team just because they lose a quarterback. They could be still really damn good. We don't know.
Well, and they're deep. I mean, Georgia is one of those teams where, I mean, they stockpiled 5-star recruits at quarterback. I mean, that's one of the big reasons I think Dylan came here. It's not like Florida State. Well, okay, you guys don't have your starting quarterback. You're not getting into the playoff. Georgia will still be able to compete. They still have a really great defense. I just think if Notre Dame is able to keep the momentum and play the same game that they played last week versus Indiana, they're definitely going to be a tough out.
So that's going to be at 3:00 on ESPN, Notre Dame, Georgia. And then there is another bowl game on tonight, Duke and Ole Miss in the Gator Bowl down in Ernesto's neck of the woods. Ole Miss favored by 17.5 over Duke today.
Gator Bowl.
Yeah.
When you say Gator Bowl, one thing pops into my mind.
Is it the same thing as me, Joe Gans?
I was thinking more of Tommy Armstrong to Quincy and Nunwa for 99 yards versus Georgia.
No, yeah, I was thinking of Joe Gans. Joe Gans was a player. That was a fun bowl game too. Some good memories in the Gator Bowl. Didn't we play Georgia back-to-back years? We played them in the Gator Bowl, and then I swear we played them again like shortly after that.
Maybe I think we played Clemson one of those years too.
Clemson was in the Gator Bowl with Joe Gans.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's been some good football. We finally got some decent games in the playoff, and I think this afternoon that's going to be a very fun game as well. Let's take a break. Come back. We'll talk Nebraska ball. They got a big game coming up on Saturday. We'll talk more with T, Johnny, and Thew after the break.
You're listening to the Morning Hookup with Bill Hooks and Will Wilson. More coming up.
So it's I Matthew, but when you introduce yourself as Matthew, a lot of people will just shorten it and they go by Matt. Like my wife. My wife does not call me Thew. It's Matthew.
Yeah.
My mom too. And so my friends, when I was 19, instead of the first 4, they went with the last 4 and just Thew.
Okay.
And it's weird because my email's Thew323, and you'll get like a doctor's office. I've got your email as the W. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go with that. But it's funny because it's the same principle as like Topher. Some people named Christopher will go by Topher, like Topher Grace. Mm. So there's this comedian. His name was Matthew Ivy. He gets on Twitter a couple years ago. And he says, how some people named Christopher will go by Topher. He goes, I want to be the first Matthew to ever go by Thew. And like me and 37 of my friends were sending him pictures of all my softball jerseys and my license plates that say Thew. And he gets on 2 days later. I stand corrected. I would be the second. And he follows me on Twitter now. So it was a funny story. So it's just the short version of Matthew.
That is a good story. It's a good story.
My buddies in college called me Stiffy.
And see, that's longer than John. And maybe we don't want to know.
There's
Stiffy?
a big story behind it.
Is it radio appropriate?
I was going there too.
Probably not.
Uh-huh.
But Johnny has some of the best stories, but we'll have to say that on another day. His old college story. But he played against who's the Cowboys?
Leon Lett.
Leon Lett.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. He was offensive tackle. He
played for Emporium State.
Yeah, he did.
And you played where, Johnny?
Wayne State.
Wayne State. Okay.
So did you played against Wesleyans and Dones and all that?
No, we played Kearney State, Chadron State, teams like that.
What about Dana when that was still up and running?
No.
Dano.
I think
What's
they were
Dana? It was in Fremont.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it was in Blair. Midland was in Fremont. Dana was in Blair.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it was like a Wesleyan Doane type of school and closed.
Interesting.
We had a guy on my team that got drafted in the first round in the NFL. I think it was like number 17. His name was Brad Otis from Fremont.
Dana. I'm committing to Dana College.
We hold a big presser and pull the Dana hat out of the bag.
Well, I do want to talk about this game on Saturday because this is going to be a good game. By the way, depending on where you look, a lot of people like us in that game
because we're at home. I mean, that's it's. But I like our team anyway. We're playing quality basketball right now. He got a great rotation and.
Mm-hmm. Year of the Cat,
Al Stewart.
2025. We are here in 2025. Let's make it a good
According
year.
to the Chinese calendar, is it the year of the cat, though?
Maybe.
Have to look that up.
Could be. Welcome back into the show. This is the Morning Hookup. Bill Hooks is gone. He's in Utah for the next few days.
I'm going to have to sub longer when he comes back because he's going to be injured.
Oh, man. I remember when I first went skiing, and I knew I wasn't going to be very good at it, but yeah, your body did not feel good that
Well,
that
it
night.
comes down to is your ego bigger than your skiing skills?
Why? What does ego have to
Well,
go?
I don't know, because I get up. I could do this. I've seen it on TV.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie Better Off Dead. That guy went down the hill on one ski.
Oh, no, I was stationed in Utah for 2.5 years, and I used to see a lot of my military compadres coming to work with crutches, lay body cast, and I was like, you couldn't get me on those skis. No. Beautiful mountains are beautiful. You know, I lived out there for 2.5 years. I know all
But
about
did you ever go skiing?
No. But I went out I've been out to Park City. Park City is beautiful. If you ski, you got to go to Park City. I think they had Olympics there some years ago.
Did they?
Winter Olympics.
Okay. Well, T, it's good to have you in, man. You're in town for Legends Weekend on Saturday. Bill and I were blessed to go with you to the banquet last year where Coach Nee was in town, and man, it was good. It was good to meet him and catch up with him, and I think a lot of people are not going to forget that night.
Oh, of course. You know, Danny's Danny. You know, he was like that as a coach, and you know, he just says what's on his mind.
Yeah,
and,
he did too.
And there's no filter there, you know, and he's open and honest about, you know, what he thinks. And
yeah,
but that's what I love about him. You know what you get, and he's going to tell you like it is.
You know, we kind of talked that you've come back for several of these Legend weekends, and they introduce you guys from the guys that played in the 50s or 60s all the way up to the recent years, and they do it chronologically. And when we get to the 80s, you know, the 86, 87, and the announcer comes on and announces Henry T. Buchanan. I know you come back and you know a lot of people here, but what about the little tingling or, you know, the arm hair stand up, you know, to be able to walk across and hear those fans applaud one more time? What does that mean to you to be part of the Nebraska basketball history?
Oh, yeah, you get the butterflies, and you know, I always tell folks, if you don't have butterflies before a game, you know, you're not going to be ready. It's the same thing when you're about ready to get announced, and you know, you're a little nervous, but you feel good, you know, because you know, this being recognized, you know, as a former player and being there, watching the growth of the team now, and being a part of the growth and what Coach Hoiberg is doing for the program is, I'd just love to come back to be a support this program, and also getting an opportunity to meet guys that played in different eras and just talk about, you know, their time at Nebraska. And we all have similar stories, you know, everybody loves Nebraska, you know, and this is, you know, I love Nebraska, you know, except for the weather, you know, and it's a little chilly now, but other than that, you just can't beat it. You know, going to university, I remember walking on campus, the College of Business, you know, I graduated with an accounting degree, and, you know, get a chance to, and it's right downtown Nebraska, you know, downtown Lincoln. And, you know, you get to ride by campus every day. And, you know, just being a part of this Cornhusker Nation is just a beautiful thing. And all the players who come back, I just saw DC, Derek Chandler just commented on here, you know, good morning from DC. What's up, DC? And Anthony Tupper, he's a coworker of mine, State Farm, you know, and
Anthony Tupper?
Yes.
Is that Phil Tupper's son?
Yes.
Oh, so
no, well, that's his brother, isn't it?
Well,
I don't know his dad's name. But
is Anthony pretty young?
Yeah, well, he played football for a year. That's the Tupper you're talking about. He played a little basketball, and
okay, well, because I know the Anthony Tupper. There's a Anthony Tupper that's sons of Phil Tupper, and they have a daughter, Tony Tupper, and that's and he's dating Becca and Josiah's mom.
That's his brother.
Okay,
that's his younger brother.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
So that's Phil's younger brother.
Anthony lives in Bloomington. He works at our corporate headquarters.
Well, and I would tell you this: Derek Chandler, as I remember, because I was at school at the same time he was. I was down at the university, and he was part of that team when Oklahoma State came into Devaney, ranked number 2 that year. And
Big Country?
I don't know. You'd have to ask Derek, DC, if Big Country's on that team.
Answer the question.
So you have to answer this, Derek. And they came into Devaney, and they were ranked number 2 in the country. and we beat them. We upset them. It wasn't number one but they were ranked number 2 in the country, and I can remember that was one of the few times that we got to storm, and that place was crazy. But so
and then Bill Schreiber and Seibler, he's from Omaha. He's one of my guys that we look at. He's part of that Husker group that we go to these Husker bars, look at games. I mean, all these guys are listening in on the show.
You need to tell Kendrick Ford to listen in on the show too.
I know he's calling me during the show.
Make sure he gets in.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to do is just remember random players from the past. Check out some of these names. Remember Tony McRae?
Yes, he was the other ballyhooed recruit that he brought in at the same time as Alex Marich.
That's right, Tony McRae.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Paul Verlander.
He was
shooter.
He was technically a walk-on because his dad was an assistant coach, so he wouldn't take up one of the scholarships. Paul,
and he could shoot it.
He could shoot.
Ryan Anderson.
Ryan, the 6'4" guy that had to play
Seattle.
the 5 sometimes.
And he could sing too.
What about that?
Jorge Brian Diaz.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of the one guy that was really good, Stan Hardinger or something like that.
The tall guy?
He was like 6'8".
Yeah, didn't he?
But then
was that the guy who went to Hawaii?
I think so. But then I think he got in trouble. He was like passed out in a park. Or
he
something.
was naked. They found him naked in a park or something.
Okay, well,
yeah. And then he went to Hawaii. I think he
Christian
Stan
Hardinger or something was his name.
Yeah, he had black hair.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a hell of a story.
Yeah.
A lot of good names.
Oh, we've had some great names and some, we've had some characters and, you can just name it. Nebraska, we've had it all, just from we've always been in the shadow of the football program but we've always, had some players, and we had some players that fans enjoy watching. And, do we talk about K-State anymore? What Connor's doing right now.
You really like this team.
Oh, absolutely.
And Connor pulled up from about 35 the other night. He had the green light and it rimmed off, but we hadn't seen anyone do that since Casey.
Yes.
I mean, when he pulled up, I remember I would grab at Xavier's arm like, if that goes in, this place is going to blow up. So,
yes.
But yeah, no.
Think about that.
And we forget about the basketball, but you've got 3 former players that are on NBA rosters right now.
Yes.
I know Bryce is kind of going back and forth between the G League. He did get in the other night and had some points, but Jack McVay, I'm glad he's been able to hatch. Delano Banton,
he's dealing with an injury right now, but he
was averaging double figures coming off the bench, and he was kind of just a 1 year in that first class that Fred brought in for the transitional year. 6'8" guy that could play down low, but yet could handle the ball, and I think that's kind of why he's still playing
NBA. Yeah, point guard.
Yeah, he's been dealing with an injury. He's been struggling to get in because he's been hurt. But yeah, he's staying in the NBA. He's not going anywhere. That's really impressive. So let's talk about this game on Saturday. UCLA Legends Weekend. You're going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. I think it's going to be a really close game.
I think so too. I just think UCLA has a really, really good coach. They have size.
By the way, he's coached in PBA before. He was with Cincinnati when they came here. I think it was the year after Miles made the tournament. And I think we went to double OT against them.
Okay.
Yeah. So this will be this. He's Mick, right?
Yeah.
Mick. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's coached here before.
Man. So, he can coach, and he has a lot of size and at all positions, and they can shoot it. They play well together, and they big men can shoot. They can shoot the three. They have a bunch of Europeans that plays the game. They play professionally basketball before they come to college, so they're not going to be scared. They're not going to be intimidated. But you're coming into the PBA, baby. I'm ready for them.
What kind of advantage do we have with Burke playing there last year?
Well, first of all, Burke know their system. He also know their the players, so that is going to be an advantage. And so I'm looking forward to whatever he's sharing to the coaching staff. And golly, speaking of our coaching staff, what's Nate doing with that defense?
They're all over the place.
I mean, so I think
the defense. No, like you said, I think the defense just has been very consistent. I think the one thing that does, I'm not going to say that I'm nervous or anything, but it does raise a little eyebrow as far as offensively that we've seen the games here recently, especially of what Bryce has done, and Juwan has been a great addition to that too. That those guys, they are your senior leaders, and they're doing really well. But when teams start really gearing on them and taking those two away, do we have enough consistency out of Connor to go out and be able to get 20? Can Burke take that next level offensively to be able to chip in 18 points? Andrew Morgan, he'll have a great game, and then we don't use him the next game. It seems like he'll only have 2 points. I want to see us be able to have some ability on that offensive end to have scores 3, 4, and 5 when teams start to gear towards Bryce and Juwan.
Well, you definitely gonna need three go-to guys, and I think Burke is stepping up. If you notice, he's becoming a little bit more aggressive offensively. He's starting to take more of his open shots, taking it to the basket. But what I like about him, he plays defense and he rebounds as well. He does it all. When you think about, like I said, what Morgan does, and I think Braxton is coming around. He's playing a little bit more aggressively on defense, and he's getting the ball inside, and I think he's only going to get better. But I think the missing piece, and hopefully he'll be back for this game, and I'm going to try to go up there today, see what's going on with him. But Ulis, because I think Raleigh is playing a lot of minutes, and I just think he needs that rest. So we're going to need him. I think Sam is doing what he's supposed to do. He gets on the court, creates havoc. He's going to be huge for the game Saturday as well. And if I know Gavin's confidence has been suffering a little bit, but I'm glad he came in last game.
Oh, yeah, those minutes he got at the end.
Yeah, and he played well and hit some shots, and that's all you needed. An offensive player, you just need to see the ball go in once. Well, and he hit 3 in a row, and so hopefully he'll get some minutes.
You talked about Ulis, and it seems like when Raleigh comes out, that's kind of forcing Bryce to run that point.
Yes,
and that kind of takes him out of, I think, where you want him offensively, because he's having to initiate the offense rather than kind of do what he does best. So that is a big thing. And I'll say it for what it is. I think Raleigh is a great manager out there.
Yes.
The guy is tough. He'll get to the hoop. He's not an outside shooter.
Yeah, but he did hit
He
a
can
couple.
be.
He did hit one.
He can be.
He hit a couple, I thought.
So,
He
but
needs to
I think
shoot more.
Ulis has made some outside too, and so that'll give you another threat when he gets back on the court. No, I wasn't going to say that he was
No, I know I want him to shoot more. I think he's a better outside shooter than Ulis is, no doubt.
Yeah.
But he's playing a lot of minutes, like you said.
But
and as a point guard, playing a lot of minutes, that can be tough.
Yes, and what I like to see him do less of, because playing in the Big Ten is a lot different. And I don't, what conference he come from, the WAC or whatever?
He was with Utah.
Yeah, Utah.
Whatever conference that was.
Well,
in.
but that'd be Big 12 then, wouldn't it?
Well, but last year was that Mountain West?
No, were they Pac-12?
They were Pac last year.
Yeah.
Were they? Yeah, they were.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Utah was. Yeah, I think
so.
you're right.
Yeah.
But it's different in the Big Ten. I mean, they got guards, they got size, and the backing down. Preseason is okay. You're not playing against the level of competition that you're going to face in the Big Ten and the physicality. So, I don't mind him doing it from time to time, but let's mix it up a little bit. And I'd like to see him take that over. He turns down a lot of open shots, and I think once he see a couple going, which he did last game, I think he'll be a lot more better and more. He'll be dangerous.
Did you see the guy for Southern during warmups that shot the ball like Jamal Wilkes? He would bring the ball like out in front and kind of circle it around before he shot.
Yeah,
he'd make a few, but it was a very unique shooting style that I hadn't seen in a long time.
They look great in warmups.
They did. Oh, this team was athletic, high flying and dunking and stuff.
Yes.
And then at about the 9-minute mark, still in the first half, they had like 8 points.
I know.
Yeah. So that but what I did find out is after the game, their 2 best players did not make the trip.
Oh,
disciplinary.
Oh,
yikes!
2 of their best players, because if you remember earlier this year, they had Texas A&M down 14 at half. And Texas A&M had to fight in the second half to win that game. So I think the 2 best players would have made a difference. Not that much. 2 players not going to make that much of a difference.
Not in PBA.
Not in the PBA.
It's another big game on Fox, nationally televised, 1 p.m. I'm going to be opening early at Tavern. So if you guys are down there and you want to stop by before the game, why don't you stop by?
We might do that.
But man, that place, I'm jealous that I can't go to the game because that place is going to be popping.
Hey, Will, I might be down there if I can't find a scalper to sell me one too. So
he needs one. He needs
I'll,
one.
I'll be that guy walking around saying, "Need one,
He
need one."
needs one.
Yeah.
Well, T, it's going to be and you guys are going to obviously do the halftime thing, and you'll get
Yes.
announced. And I want to make sure you have a bigger clap than Shoe.
Oh no. Hey, but they are going to recognize my military.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Awesome.
At the 16-minute timeout.
You're going to be individually.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
like
All
you're
right.
gonna be the guy in the corner of the
Yeah.
court.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta find. I gotta
Okay.
sneak in there now.
You got to get a new outfit.
No, we're gonna have our Legends jackets on. So we'll be good.
Everybody listening, keep an eye out for T on Saturday. Thanks for coming in, Johnny.
Always.
Thanks for coming in, man. Good talking with you.
I will be here tomorrow.
You're going to be back in
Yes.
tomorrow. It's 2025. We're here. Go Big Red.
Go Big Red all day
And
long.
I'm on Georgia tonight, by the way. I'm taking Georgia.
Okay.
All right. You're on Notre Dame, both of you.
All three
Yes.
of us.
All right. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good Thursday.